Today's episode of the Nateland podcast is brought to you by Factor, DraftKings, and Rocket Money. Hello, folks, and hey, Bear. Welcome to the Nateland podcast. I'm Nate Bargatze, Stephen Brian Bates, Dusty Slay. Aaron is locked up abroad.
May never come back.
Yeah, so he's dealing with that. He's in jail there.
Welcome back to you, by the way. It's been 3 weeks since you've been
here. It's been a while.
Yeah,
so
welcome back.
Thanks for sorry about that, everybody. I'm glad to be back. I really don't want to miss these episodes, and so I always do. No, I'm not trying to do this on purpose. So it's just getting crazy, and obviously, as y'all know, and so thank you for still listening. Glad and excited to be back. I like being back.
Yeah.
It's nice.
We missed you, but everyone loved your dad last week, and
oh yeah, I got that. Time. I didn't know that they were staying here.
Surprise!
Yeah, I knew he burnt the thing down. I don't even know the whole story yet. I know it burnt down because it's like they just send a picture in our family text. And then, well, first we just get a picture of like the whole fire department at my parents' house. And they don't send it with like much. They send it, my parents will send you a picture and a text as if you're next to them and experiencing it with them.
Yeah.
Like you already know what's going on.
You got to start midway in.
Yeah, it's all out of context. There's no any of that stuff.
Yeah, because the picture I saw just looked like the stove was burned in the microwave, which is not really an excuse to move houses.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think it got more.
Yeah.
I guess.
That's what they say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Your dad is a magician, though.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they're here. So they watched Harper for us this weekend, so it worked out. Worked out.
Yeah.
Can't take them anywhere. No. Yeah. So I am back, and the SNL shirt. I think this episode's going to be. It's probably going to be a little different.
Yeah.
Just because we're going to talk a lot about Saturday Night Live and the whole experience with that. It has been a whirlwind for sure. Bates was there. Bates got recognized at the after party.
All right.
Did you take a picture of them?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
All right.
Cool.
Big time.
Yeah.
They didn't ask for it, but I asked them.
Yeah, they listened to the podcast, and I go, Brian, Bates is here. And they were like, is he? And then
I'm mingling with people at the after party, and Nate's like, hey, they're waiting for me. And Nate's have to be the one to tell me there's these fans waiting for you.
All right.
Mr. Big Time.
Look at that.
I've already talked to him twice, taking pictures. Brian's a little more difficult to get to.
Yeah.
Well, I was just getting hounded, by fans.
Yeah, he can't handle it, And so I was like, there he is.
Yeah, I mean, when you're big time, you're big time.
Before the show started, out in the lobby at NBC, and I'm out there with, some big time Dan Soder, big time comics in New York, and people come up to me, because they know me from the podcast.
Oh, really?
Pushing those New York comics out of the way.
Yeah, you go, excuse me, guys.
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, the whole let's just get it. We're just get into it because I'm gonna see what, right?
Yeah, Dusty, you were home this weekend.
I was, and I watched.
All right.
It was great to see you do comedy finally.
Yeah,
and,
Thank you.
No, it was great. I loved it.
Yeah,
it's I've worked with people that have done SNL over the years, but it's fun to see my friend that I do a podcast with rocking SNL.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So great.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's over. I mean, a lot of people ask how. What do you feel and stuff? I feel a lot of this stuff is not happening to me, is what I feel. I feel it's happening to someone else. I think you just kind of do that because I don't know what to think. You don't know what to do. I'm very much my big thing that I try to remind myself of. I'm not, none of this is about me. It's so I remind myself of that a lot. I tell other comics sometimes, it's like, it can't be about you. You can't make everything, it's got to be, you're just a vessel, and fortunate to be chosen as a vessel. And so I try to remind myself that a lot. So to stay somewhat in the moment and calm, and then just be able to deliver the best thing that you can go deliver, because you have to work. and you have to do a good job. I mean, that's the hard, because everybody's excited about this. It is insane. A lot of people were talking about how they're proud they were. And I mean, that stuff means a lot to me. Like, it's like, that stuff means the world, but you want to make sure you go do the best job that you're supposed to go do. And the job that you're hired to go do, to hopefully get to go back again and, do it.
So start with, did you have any idea that they were even considering asking you?
I knew not till too long ago, one of the Vegas shows, my agents, they brought someone that was one of the producers on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think they pitched me as possibly doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew she came to a show. We had a lot of fun. That was it. I don't think I actually met Lauren a week after that. I went to, I just went to this stuff. I'm not, if some of this seems like name dropping, I don't know. I'm not trying to, but I went to Mulaney's birthday party and actually met Lauren at the birthday party. John Mulaney. And, but I just really briefly, I don't think he knew me then. I don't think he, maybe would have, but he didn't watch my special for sure. He was, he was cool, very nice. I mean, there's a lot of SNL people in that room. And, so when he walked in, it was like it was like Conan was there and Spade. And, it's fun to see Fred Armisen. Like, it's crazy to see the SNL when you're not in that thing, when Lauren walks in and you can just kind of look around and see, everybody's kind of like sits up, I don't know. I mean, and Lauren is awesome. He is awesome. Very welcoming, very easy. I mean, I think very easy to talk to. The guy's brilliant. And I mean, in what he's done in doing this live show, and his line that he says in there is, you don't go on because the show is ready. You go on because it's 11:30, and that's what kind of like, it's 11:30 p.m. Show ready, got to be ready. We're starting right now.
Yeah,
and that's the aspect of. That's what's so fun about it. That's why it was the most fun I've ever had doing something, because I love that. The live aspect of it it's stand up. I mean, it's, you're just like, well, we got to tape it. It's about to go on. So it is what it is.
There's no redos. We need more laughs here.
Yeah.
No do-overs.
Yeah. What stuff gets too like micro, it's the authenticity of it, I think, is what is attractive to it, because it's like, your show's got to go. You got an audience here. You're taping it, dude. Like, it's coming out now. There's no choice. That's why I think multicam feels good with sitcoms, is because, it's a live audience. You're performing for a live audience, and, you got to tape it, and you got to do good with the crowd, and it's coming out next week. And there's not, single cam is, because when we shot some of the sketches, the single cam is, it's you just like the Halloween sketch where I'm playing the serial killer. It's, you do like one scene. So I'll be like, and then they film that. All right, got that. And then I do another scene and like, got that. And then I mean, you're acting, but you're just piecing stuff together. And so when you have to do a sketch, it's fun because you're just like, you're in this whole thing for 5 minutes. Everybody's doing this. Like, that's what's fun. And that's multicam sitcoms are fun because of that same reason. My one pilot that everybody knows I've talked about, and I talked about it there. I told them, I said this, I wrote a pilot once. I tell everybody, and they go, oh, yeah. But they, when you shot that pilot, it was like the scenes are fun because it's like a long scene. Like, you got to know where to go stand and this. And it's, it's not 5 minutes, but it might be 3 minutes or 4 minutes. And, when we talk about Seinfeld all the time, Seinfeld is, they got that scene up in the top. It's like Kramer comes in and everybody's sitting there, and it's a big scene that's got to be done all in one shot. And that's, I think that's just, it's super fun to do. And I think it's fun that's why people like watching. So
they expressed interest here. I think they came to your shows at Radio City Music Hall a few weeks ago.
They came to Radio City too. After that, so they came to Vegas, and then after that, they came to Radio City, and I knew he had watched my special then. So Lauren was very nice, and he said they watched it, and he kept telling my manager, Tim, he kept telling him, because Tim and Lauren have known each other for years, and Tim had, Seth Meyers, they all that whole, they know and my management has they have Sandler and Spade, and they have a lot of SNL people. And so Lauren was very nice, saying, "Oh, we watched the special, we loved it." And I think I had a lot of people back in my corner that, with Michael Che and Pete Davidson and Mulaney and Fallon, obviously, and Seth Meyers. And so you had a lot of people, they were in my corner just being like, "Hey, this guy's, a great comic, whatever." Because it was a shock. It was a big chance because whatever I know I'm selling, I know where I'm at, where I'm doing arenas and people could think, but it's just such a different thing.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. It's the people that are usually hosting that are, they're in movies and they're the most famous people on the planet or whatever. And so for me to come in and do it, I think was, I thought, all right, this might happen. I didn't know for sure. They kind of said that this October 28th date, but it looked like it wasn't going to be that date. And so it was like, all right. And at first I was like, well, I had so many shows I had to reschedule. So I was kind of like, well, that's not, because I didn't want to reschedule those shows, but obviously you kind of have to. And so then it went from maybe not being the 28th to being like, my manager's kind of being like, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but there's a chance you're going to be doing SNL. And then I got, during fall break, I got the call. And then we announced that reschedule. And so I knew probably 2.5 weeks, basically right when I rescheduled the date is basically when I found out. As quick as within a couple of days of then finding the new dates and all that stuff. So then they were like, the 28th was, like, all right, well, it's happening. And then so I moved it. And then, I was in I had a great week in Fort Worth and Park City, Kansas, and Wichita, where I had the allergic reaction. And I talked about Seth Meyers. And then
were you running your monologue these places?
Because I was kind of opening with it. So it's like that's my opening, because I'll be doing those jokes. They're in my new hour. So if you come see me, you will see those jokes. That's always a thing. I asked a lot of comics, like thinking, do you burn it? Is it burnt? Is it over? Or whatever. Look, I have a lot more stuff with those jokes. It's kind of a theme kind of thing. So I was able to pick out like a few things. So I think it's, it's going to be better, but that's in my new hour. And so, I was opening with it, but when you're doing arenas and doing an hour, it's just so different. It's so different. And then, so when I went to New York, I did like probably 5 to 7, or I did 5 one night. I probably did 12 sets or something.
Wow.
And I just had to get back into a short rhythm. Because I was just coming off of a full week of arenas. And it's big, and it's 10,000 people. You're doing an hour. It's this kind of thing, and then now I got to go do 9 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it was, and so it was good. I went around New York and just kind of getting back into that tighter. The way you tell your timing just has got to be a little different because you're doing short sets instead of longer sets. It's just a different thing. For
sure.
So I went back and then ran around and got to see everybody and do spots. But you get there. We did Oklahoma City, then went there Monday. I got to Oklahoma City late. I got to New York like 2 a.m. Then went and did the Today Show.
Just a few hours later.
Yeah. I think like 6. I have a good method, I think, for if I'm going to get no sleep. And I've done it. I don't know if I've talked about it before.
I know what you're going to say.
Have I talked about it on here?
I've not heard it.
You gave some advice one time. I thought that's really good advice, and I've used it. Treat it like it's a nap.
Yeah.
And then you're not as mad.
Don't get all the way asleep. If it's like 2 hours, I'll just lay in bed in my clothes. I take my shoes off, but I'll have my jeans. I'll have whatever I'm wearing to the airport. I'll have all of it on, and I'll just lay in bed like, I'll take man, I can't believe I have 2 hours. And then you're excited about the 2 hours because you're like, I got some time. I'll just lay down, and then I'll get up and go. And so your mentality when you wake up is better.
I like that.
Yeah, I do too.
Sometimes it can be funnier when you're a little delirious too.
Yeah. And so
loopy.
and then you could be like, and then you also could be like, but if you want to go stay up and go watch a movie right now, then go watch a movie. You kind of just go like, oh, you got this free time.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't feel as,
not as annoyed by it. Yeah.
You just kind of go, yeah, I'm just getting no sleep. And so here we go.
When I told my mom you were going to be on Saturday Night Live, she obviously knows Saturday Night Live, and it's a big deal. She asked me, what city they did it in, but she's 80. She turned 80 yesterday. She's not staying up usually for Saturday Night Live, but then when you're on the Today Show, all of a sudden like a light went off. Like, how did he get on there?
Yeah.
And she said, does he just like call and ask to be on there? And I said, yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You just call him.
Because she watches the Today Show, so she was very excited about it. She said you're uptown now.
That's
her
one. Oh, right.
Yeah. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took it back down wearing the 37138.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go right back.
It's a big deal, though. I mean, we're similar in age. So, we grew up watching the same SNL. Farley and Spade and Sandler. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's huge. Nate Bargatze as a kid never thought you'd be hosting SNL.
No, I don't even know. I mean, it's like your little dreams that you have, but I don't know. It's, I don't know, man. I've been to that building a lot. That's what's crazy to me is, it's 30 Rock without even, there's no like plan to be in 30 Rock. It's just Conan was there when I did Conan, then Fallon, a bunch, and Seth Meyers, and then now SNL. Mm-hmm. And it's just crazy when you look at it. You're like, I've been coming to this building for 15 years, every year, multiple times a year sometimes. And then now to be here, you're like, it's interesting to be like, oh, I guess when you look back, you're like, yeah, you're just on the radar of people that found Seth Meyers, all SNL people. Like everybody in that building is an SNL person. Not saying that's why I got it or whatever. Stuff's got to connect, but I did like that. I like doing stuff where you see people and you're like, yeah, I've seen that, the people working there and all that. Yeah. It's pretty insane.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get there Monday, you do Today Show, and
I had off until, so I went back and slept like that good sleep you do after morning radio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I ate French toast. I always eat bad. I mean, I have a hard time enough not eating bad anyway. But after a morning radio or you get up like that, I always want to go eat something heavy that's going to really make me go to sleep.
Oh yeah.
So I went back and slept a little bit, and then we went to SNL, and you're going. They called me Sunday. About a sketch idea, like to sketch me throwing stuff, the first promo.
Mm-hmm.
And then they called me Sunday, and then Monday you go there at 5 and you're there I was there till 8. It wasn't that long, 7:30, 8. It's kind of quick. They do a really great job of easing you into it. Like it starts with, oh, this is not bad, and then you eventually get to just, you're there all day.
But Monday was just a meeting with everybody?
Monday was, I go in, then I go in and sit with, the writers just saying anything that, I don't want to do or whatever.
Yeah.
We told them beforehand that I didn't really want to do political stuff or sexual stuff or, and obviously I'm not going to say some, so they definitely knew that kind of stuff. And then they kind of go, I think it was Monday you sat with, I think all the writers came in, Lauren, and they go around and kind of throw some ideas out. And I think it was Monday, might've been Tuesday. But you just kind of go, okay, you're just hearing the brief idea of the ideas of sketches. And I felt very relieved because none of them were political. And I don't really think any of them were sexual, really. Maybe a couple, but it was, you're hearing 50 ideas.
Yeah.
But it was nice. That made me comfortable to go like, all right, I'm not going to spend a week of, having to be down. Like, I don't want to say that. I don't like that, So they definitely got what I do.
Is the cast in there pitching ideas too?
Yeah, cast and writers and everybody's in there, and they just go around and I mean it's just like you just get it all, and and then I went down to the cellar and I think the stand maybe too and ran a bunch of sets.
Did you pitch my ideas? Is that when you pitched mine?
No. I looked at you. I had one idea that I pitched that they liked and they wrote, and I felt bad after, but it was because I got it's an iPhone with no case. Like if someone has an iPhone and they don't have a case on it, like everybody gets obsessed with it, and they're like, "What if you drop it?" Then? And so then, and you feel like people want you. Then they start rooting for you to drop it because you don't have a case, because they don't want a case really either. But they're like, but we have to.
Yeah, nobody wants a case.
No one wants a case. So when they see someone with the freedom of not having a case, it annoys people, and they think
this is dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
What are you doing?
They hope you drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to. You have to regret this.
Yeah,
because if you're doing without a case and it's okay, then what am I doing?
Yeah,
am I just a klutz?
Yeah.
Like those cases aren't cheap either.
No. Do they? No. Is it I haven't watched in a long time. Is it normally the host in like every sketch? I feel like you were in every sketch. You were great. You were rocking it. I've never seen you act. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Not that I don't think that you can, but I've never seen it.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great.
Yeah. Well, I shot a pilot once.
Yeah. Well, I didn't see it. I didn't get to see the pilot.
It was. I wonder if I could. I have a clip of it. I wonder if one day I could show it. You're not allowed to. No, it was. Like acting, yeah. I mean, that was a big part. It's like, I mean, I don't think they care. I mean, it's like the crutch of the show. The week before they had Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny does not speak English.
Okay.
And then, so he came on. I mean, he's the biggest person in the planet right now or something. But they are like, yeah, he speaks a little English. Like, he doesn't speak English. It's a very, very second language to him. So that one they had to, a lot was on the cast and a lot was on, it's the pop-ins and the cameos, and because, he didn't speak English, so it's like, it's just harder.
Yeah, all the sketches, because I watch it, all the sketches were kind of centered around that. Marcelo Hernandez, who's on one of the cast, he speaks Spanish, and he was in every scene. And it's funny. It's really, really hard to get tickets to SNL. I think you got to be on a waiting list, and I think maybe months in advance, and then they call you last minute or email you, and you got to either be there soon or just get off. But big fans find a way, and on his episode, it was clear a lot of his fans somehow found a way to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when what's the Korean boy band, BTS? Yeah. I mean, that was just like a concert for them when they hosted or when they were musical guests. So somehow these fans find a way.
Maybe they just have more fans than we realize. Like everybody's a fan.
I guess.
I think it's a younger age, but yeah, they probably want their fans, and I'm sure they could say we want our fans to.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, yeah.
But when he hosts Bad Bunny the week before, like it was more screaming for him, giving him lines and laughter a lot of times.
Yeah, yeah. Different vibe than I got.
Different vibe, yeah.
I had 100 Bates in the audience.
No, it was a very young audience, and we're getting ahead now, but people sitting down front, I would see like hot girls, and then some hotter girls would show up, so they'd get those people up and move them out and move in even hotter girls.
Yeah.
They don't even show the audience, though, do they?
Occasionally you can see the people sitting down on the floor.
Okay.
The people on the floor, they're moving around, everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get too far ahead.
Yeah. So the rest of the week, it's probably always a blur to you, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you're just rehearsing.
Tuesday, you got there. I mean, you don't go in till about noon. Yeah. And so Tuesday was kind of a normal thing, noon. Maybe I was there till, I don't remember, 10. That's when we shot the promo where I was tearing stuff up, and
that was great.
The guitar. That was nice because it was like we kind of shot that. Yeah, we did shoot that Tuesday. And so that was like nice to kind of get something over with because it was like, all right, I have to act in this. And so it was like, all right, that was good. We got that done. And then it goes out. I mean, then it goes out the next day or whatever. And you're like, man, it's great. You just shoot it, then it's out. And then it was, because then you're like, all right, everybody's seen something. Everybody seemed like they liked that. It was, I could feel a lot of people worried or, that.
I was trying to see what fingers, they blurred out your fingers.
I did not. I held up. I went like this.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I thought it was thumbs.
Oh, no. They said something about once flicking the camera off and I would go. And I mean, you just do it. You just say it. I go, I don't want to do that. It's always funny. I mean, even being 44, you just in a like, I mean, there's so many people. You're not flicking the camera off. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And then they go, all right. I'm sorry.
I hate that too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
glad you didn't do it.
Well, they made it, but it's like, yeah, I just did that. And I didn't know they were even going to do that thing, but it was for the joke. I understand it, but I just don't like doing it.
I don't like it either.
But that was great. And, so we shot that Tuesday, and then Wednesday you do a table read through. So that's when you read every one of them. So that it's a big table. You go in, you're sitting where, on the floor, stage is behind you. Everybody's in there. These guys have been writing all night on the sketch. So
let me ask you something. Of the 50 that were pitched, who decides which ones work and how do they get whittled down?
Obviously Lauren is going to be the final say, but everybody kind of say, I have a lot of say.
Yeah.
So if I like something, because people say that to me a lot when they give me advice about it, they go, you have more say than you think you do. Because you think you're like, I don't know, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Yeah. And then you do have a lot of say. But that being said, I'm not trying to be these guys, when you go do something, you're like, y'all have done this for 50 years. Yeah. I'm not going to, act like I know something better than I know what I am comfortable with. I can just tell you that, or and I could say I do like this, maybe a little bit more than that, but it's they kind of know when you do the table read. I mean, you're it's like you kind of say it all. Everybody's just sitting around. You got like it's like this. You got a table, you got a little microphone, and like a press conference microphone kind of, and you each go through it, and Lauren reads the stage directions. So as you're reading it, he'll read it over and be like, Nate crosses over and sits down, and then you read your line, and so they just go through. They split it up to two halves. It's would be probably the front half of the show, the second half of the show, and so you do 40, 50, but you're doing them all.
All the pitches?
All the pitches.
Oh, still, even on
Wednesday? Maybe not every. I think Wednesday was, I think it was, Wednesday is, because Tuesday night, I think Monday's kind of like, here's the rough ideas. Yeah. Tuesday is kind of like, Monday's just, it doesn't even matter. Like, you could blurt out, be like, it's like a cat that has trouble working a fax machine. And everybody goes, oh, okay, that's funny. And it doesn't matter. You might not. I mean, they're telling you some of the ideas that do it, but I'm sure they know how to pitch where you go, you maybe don't want to give your, it's like when you're pitching that, I don't know, you don't want to say something that someone's like, no, that's dumb. And then you're like, well, no, I know how to make it funny, but maybe it didn't sound funny in the room. So then Tuesday, I went around and meet with all the writers kind of individually. And, they kind of just tell you the idea that they have for this, it's like this and that. Do this sketch. I go, yeah, it's great. And they were all like, great. It was all like, yeah, great, perfect, fun. It was all dumb and fun. And, I think that was the vibe they got when I was coming on, was just kind of like, hey, they really were like, he's not going to do politics. The cold open is political. That's always usually political. And then, but then they knew I was going to be just this, just like fun. And that's the stuff they want to, I think they like writing, is that, those stupid sketches that are just, funny and silly. And,
you also did Seth Meyers on Tuesday.
Yes. So I shot Tuesday. So when I shot that, promo of me breaking the guitar and all that, I mean, I go from shooting that, they're in the same hallway. So if, they use Seth Meyers' green room, I believe they use this Foo Fighters green room for Saturday. That's how close it's in the same hallway. So I break that guitar then immediately go put on clothes, and then I'm on Seth Meyers. I would say within 5 minutes.
Wow.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like it's just, the way Steve Higgins, who's with Fallon, but he's been with SNL forever, and he's so funny. And his son, John Higgins, they do that. Please don't destroy.
Yeah.
And those guys are very funny. But Higgins was like, he goes, it's what you think show business is going to be when you sign up for show business. Like that's what SNL is. Because then you get into show business and it's not like that. But there it is, it's like you get this on, you put this outfit on, and you run and you're doing it. It feels like, oh, this is what show business is. Like old timey, show business, which is fun.
Yeah.
And
you're putting on a live show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. And then
was it fun breaking that guitar? Did you get into it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I went into it this week saying, you know what, I'm going to commit. I'm going to just commit. That's the only way for this to be good. I always try to tell myself too, one is like it's less awkward if I commit fully than if I don't. It gets awkward if you kind of like half do it. So I was trying to be like, all right, I'll just go. When we were filming, I was like, I'm going to just try to be all, I don't care if it feels like I feel stupid, just commit fully, because that will be the best product,
Yeah.
But
it was
so
good.
we did that. Seth Meyers, yeah.
All right, then Wednesday. Now you do the table read.
Wednesday was the table read, so we go around and do that. You kind of feel right when you get done, then you go in, and I believe I went to. You kind of go. Someone kind of comes to me and says, well, "All right, what do you?" I go to my green room, and two people come in there, and we go like, all right, what do you like? What do you don't like? What do you, I can give a quick run through of like, well, I like this, I like that, I like, and then you can do that, and they whittle that down to, probably 20 or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you kind of go from there, you go up, and then I think I went up Lauren, and you sit with him, and Lauren really talks to you about this stuff. Like, he's like, what do you think about that one? And it is crazy. You're like, I don't even want to say anything, because you're just like, dude, you've ran a show for 50 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's not just a figurehead anymore. He's still actively involved in the
Very
show
involved.
creation.
If you, I mean, you're picking the show.
Yeah.
Wednesday, I think you pick the show. So you go, here's the show. And not everything's going to make it on the show, but it's relatively the things that are getting written and built. Like Wednesday is like, this is what's.
Yeah, they haven't started building anything yet.
No. So Wednesday is like, all right, these are what we're doing. It'll be cut down, but there's no like, you don't go Thursday and go, we got a whole new sketch we wrote. It's like, here's the group of sketches we picked, and now we're doing this group, which will be whittled down to a little bit more. And so we did that. And then, that Lake Beach song that everybody likes. Because at first I told him I didn't want to sing. Because I was like, I just feel uncomfortable. I was like, I don't sing. And then so they did that Lake Beach song, and it was very good. And then when I saw James Austin Johnson, who's local, Nashville, our dads went to Trevecca together, which is crazy.
Fun. Yeah.
And so him and Andrew,
Dismukes.
the other guy that was in it.
Yeah, Andrew Dismukes.
Yeah. They were, I watched them sing it during the dress rehearsal. And then I was like, oh, I could sing it. I was like, oh, it's not as, it's like you just need to see some stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you really are there. Like, I don't know, like, you want to sing? You're like, I don't want to sing.
Yeah.
Because I just don't, I mean, I really, I haven't done all this stuff.
Yeah.
I've done bits and pieces of stuff, but it's, I'm kind of in my own world.
That song would be a hit on the radio if they didn't say it was from Saturday Night Live. If they were like, this is just a song.
Look, I think it's going on Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah. They asked.
I mean, Dusty has a joke about country songs about going to the lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great, it's a very fun, catchy song.
Where'd you shoot that at?
They have some other studios where we shot that in the Hallmark thing. That's more of like they built that lake inside a studio.
Wow.
And so all this was inside this big studio type thing. That was kind of wherever it was, uptown, whatever it is.
Was that water like cold?
It was very cold. Water was very cold. And it's like 8:30 in the morning, bro.
Yeah.
And you're just like, have to be going. But another one was like, I'll just commit to it. Like, you just kind of, right before I went, I was like, all right, I'll be dumb. And that's the point of it. And you just kind of go do it. But when they're at first, because I don't think that would have made it if I didn't say I was going to sing in it. I don't think they would have done it, because it would have been weird to play that song and then be like, well, why would I not?
Right,
you got a Southern guy hosting. So then when I was like, all right, I was like, okay, I'll see what it is. I'll do it. And then it was like, all right, that was going in. It was, because it was great.
It was great. Mm-hmm. Very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So James Austin and Andrew kind of wrote that.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, James Austin, also very funny. One of the first Nashville comics I ever met. He's very funny.
Very funny.
He is. Maybe you want to tell us about Factor?
Oh, yeah. Too busy this fall to cook, but want to make sure you're eating well? With Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store and no chopping, prepping, or cleanup. But you get the flavor and nutritional quality you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back to crushing your goals. They have lunch to go, no microwave required. Replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 45 plus add-ons for various preferences and taste. Choose from breakfast items like delicious apple cinnamon pancakes, bacon and cheddar egg bites, and potato, bacon and egg breakfast skillet. Or for easy wellness boost, try refreshing beverage options like cold pressed juices, shakes, and smoothies. Looking for calorie conscious options? Try the Calorie Smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. Or if you need extra boost to support your wellness goals, get the Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. We got these a while back. Mm-hmm. We had these, and my whole family enjoyed it. I only had one kid at the time, but we would, and she was very young, but we could split one of these meals that are like designed for one person. It's very good. It tasted great. And I felt like, I don't know what feels healthy anymore, but this felt good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I didn't feel like I was doing my body a disservice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Head to factormeals.com/Nate50 and use code Nate50 to get 50% off. That's code Nate50 at factormeals.com/Nate50 to get 50% off.
Boom, I love Factor.
Yeah.
It's great.
Is this the Tennessee pin?
It looks like a Whataburger.
Oh.
Maybe Tennessee. Oh,
I think it's Whataburger.
What's that? Is that Tennessee orange, though?
I think so.
Yeah. That says Whataburger, right?
It does.
Can't take any chances.
Can't take any chances.
That's true.
You got a Nateland pin right there.
Nateland, yeah. I didn't put any of these pins up here.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so now it's Thursday. It's getting close.
So now it's Thursday. Yeah. Are people be fine? I guess yeah.
I mean, everyone's saying that they want to hear just inside details.
All right.
Yeah, I think so. This is great. No one's going to get this kind of info anywhere else.
Yeah. So Wednesday we picked the show. Thursday is kind of what did I do Thursday? I remember the schedule. Because I got a text from with my schedule every day.
Yeah, it was fun. It's so fun just cutting on Saturday Night Live and then just seeing like my friend out there.
I know.
I was like, this is fun.
Yeah, it's surreal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way.
And also in a way, like nervous for you. Like just as a stand-up comic, especially, it's like one thing to do the Tonight Show. You're still in front of a live audience, but if it goes horrible, I think there's still a chance that it could not air.
Yeah.
But like, there's no chance for you that doesn't air.
Yeah.
And then if the monologue bombs for some reason, Now you got to do sketches.
Yeah.
It's like if it bombs and then they're like, all right, this guy's already not been funny on his own doing the thing he does.
Yeah.
Now we got to watch him do a thing he doesn't do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You think he's even good at that? You're like, I don't know. I don't see how. All right. I got my text from this. So Thursday you did a lot of the I did in the balcony around. I did sketch rehearsal. So it was Pickup Hotel at noon. Then I did photo shoot for the promos. So all the photos in the middle of in between when they show the SNL, that was those were all done Thursday. And so you're kind of changing outfits and that's super fun. That was one of the more excited things I was to do.
Yeah.
For SNL, just because you get to wear something kind of crazy because it's like that's what you do on.
Wore that to after party.
I did wear that jacket. I got made fun of for wearing that jacket. It was a very comfortable jacket though.
Yeah.
But it's Mary Ellen Matthews does them, and they're just very fun. And it's like when you see those, you're always like, man, those are going to be super cool. Yeah. It's super fun and cool. My dad loved that one because he loves that movie. And so it was like I did that, the photo shoot. I did the promos with Marcelo.
That's the one with the Foo Fighters.
Yep. Yeah. The Boo Museum. And then the other one. So you just kind of stand out there. That's when I met Dave Grohl, which Dave Grohl was very energetic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. A lot of energy. And our green rooms dressing rooms are next to each other. And, he's in there with all Foo Fighters. Great dude, though. But just, he's very big, very, walks in, hey. I mean, he'll talk to anybody. Super cool guy. So when he first comes in and meets me, I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. And he's like, he said he ended up Saturday night, Abigail FaceTimed with my Derek, my brother. And he goes, I'll be honest with you, I met your brother Thursday. I thought this is gonna be the worst Saturday Night Live episode. He goes, I thought this guy, I was like, it's gonna be bad. And he goes, and now he's my favorite comic. So
that's awesome.
But it was just like, you meet, I don't know, you're like, yeah, it's hard to be like, you're like, I'm soaking it all up in. I'm just not the best with the, I'm not like, hey, but I'll like it when we get going. I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
So you get picked up. Then we blocked for this teacher's husband sketch, which it got cut, but it almost made it. And then we did Noah's Ark sketch that ended up getting cut after dress rehearsals. And then you just kind of, you go and do the sketches where you kind of block them. And you kind of go, we did the George Washington one where you just kind of go, all right, here's where you're going to be standing. Here's where you're going to go. I mean, the cameras dude, everybody that works there is unreal. The thing that Lauren has done so great with is people. One person there, if you work there 15 years, it's like you're brand new. It's like they're a rookie in a sense, and you've been there 15 years.
Wow.
It's that kind of loyalty they have to that show that he shows to them and they show to him. I mean, there's a lighting guy that worked there till he was like 95 or something.
Wow.
And they just...
Don Pardo, the announcer, was like 96 or something when he stopped announcing.
Yeah, they just do it forever. And you work there for 30... I mean, so many people are like 30 years. They've been there 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's very cool. And that's the vibe you feel. And you get very feel like swept up in, like a family, like you get really invited. So we just did the blocking on Thursday, got done like 9:45. And then, Friday was a 7:30 a.m. pickup. Friday was a very long day, because we had to shoot those two sketches.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like 7:45, then 8:30 to 10:30 was the Lake Beach pre-tape. And then 11:15 to probably close to 5 was that Hallmark thing. And then you go to Saturday Night Live at 6 p.m. We started doing the Fran Drescher one. We practiced that one.
And this is when I've now arrived at the scene, causing some chaos.
Yeah.
I'm right now.
Oh yeah, Friday.
I didn't really think I would maybe even see you until the whole thing was over, because I knew you'd be working all day, and I didn't think I'd be able to be there. But yeah, we showed up and got there in between, right before the Fran Drescher sketch blocking, and got to for that one went upstairs in a balcony and watched, which is the best place to watch it because you can kind of look down on it and watch it. And it's all about camera angles and blocking that day. It's very interesting.
It's really it's for us to know where to stand, but a lot for the cameras.
Mm-hmm. Felt like,
and the cue cards and where they're going to be.
Right.
And,
And like the set's kind of built, but they don't go all out, and everything's kind of enough that you can kind of envision what it's going to look like, but it's not like done. Like props, they'll give you another prop to kind of just practice with or things like that. And it's a lot of just doing it. So you did the Fran Drescher, then you took a little break. Then you did the which that one made there. Then the diner, the vampire was next, and that one took forever.
Yeah, it was one that it was just hard to, where everybody stood was kind of difficult. It was like a difficult one to shoot. But I mean, it made it to, we did it
dress
in
rehearsal.
the dress rehearsal.
Yeah.
But it got cut after this.
I thought they made great choices.
Oh,
I don't know
too.
what they cut, but none of the ones they showed were duds. You know what I mean? The ones that they ended up with, all great.
Yeah.
I agree. I think they and that one's funny, but the blocking is really hard and the camera angles, and that one I was down with Nate said, just come on out here with me. And I'm out there right there, right off camera.
Yeah.
Standing by him.
Yeah.
And James Austin Johnson was in that one. And
it
was a very funny one. And then you did, you did them all. You did the airplane blocking that night.
Yeah, you just end up, you just do that. You go kind of stand, here's where we're going to stand, we're going to do this, blah, all that kind of stuff.
And you went to about midnight, and then last thing before we left, they said, Lauren wants to see you in his office.
Mm-hmm.
You went up there and met with him.
Yeah, I went up there, and Lauren's there till, because this show's at night, so like I think, Lauren's a night person, and that's the life. And so I went up there and we just talked about, I think he just goes, what do you like? What do you feel good with? Do you feel these are the sketch, blah, blah, that kind of thing. And then, you're like, yeah, I'll do that. And then you're just, it's like, all right, then you get there Saturday. Everybody says happy Saturday, which is I like. Do you never know that they do that?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's very, everybody just goes happy Saturday.
Okay.
And you're like,
it's like your wedding day.
Yeah.
Like today's the day.
Yeah. It's very fun. It's very,
everyone was super nice.
Very nice.
Business, not goofing around, but super nice and friendly and
they got a job to do.
Yeah.
It's an old school way of working, which is, a way that I feel like is missed in sometimes, of just people that are like, yeah, we can be normal and I will do the best job that we got to do. And everybody should be working as hard. Everybody should be working the same as hard as you can.
Yeah.
And as good as you can and do.
Yeah. Just because you're doing a comedy show doesn't mean everything's a joke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're trying to go. Yeah. It's like comedy is serious. Like that's the whole idea of comedy is serious. And the setup of everything is like, to be funny, you got to kind of do it that way.
Yeah.
And then, so that was Friday. Then Saturday was.
Yeah, we got there about noon.
Got there about noon.
And got right to this. Now you're doing rehearsals in costume.
Yeah.
And I think George Washington was the first one y'all rehearsed that day.
Yeah, so you go do, when you get there too, I forgot Monday, they scan your face. So they have a thing with exact replica of your face and for the wigs and stuff. And when we went back in the wig room, you're back
wouldn't
there.
let them do that.
Yeah. You go back in the wig room and they have like an alien. They can make anything, and they have to make anything.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything too crazy, but they, just out of nowhere, it's like, I need a worm head with an arm, cut up.
Yeah.
And then that guy's got to go make that.
That's
and
pretty wild.
I like to do everything they said, like, none of them say they can't do it. If you go, I heard someone talking about it, and I think I was like overhearing it, but someone was like, when they first started, they go, maybe someone said, they go, can you make that? They go, I don't know if we can make that. And they go, well, you don't ever say that. You go, yeah, I'll make it. you just say, yeah, I'll figure it, you know?
Yeah.
And I love that because it's not a, nah. It's like when you get told no, it's a fanatic, you know, it's like you want to go, I like that because I say that a lot. Or I like when someone says something no, you're like, do you know for sure? Are you saying no because you think, or do you think it could be done? You know, I just want the finality to go, I'm fine with no as an answer, but I don't want the no because you don't want to try.
Right.
When this would be for this situation, it should be. And it's like that kind of mindset with everybody there is like, you know, well, what's the no coming from? Is it from a real no, or is it you doubt it and you don't want to go through the hassle of trying it? But what were we saying?
Well, it's just you're doing dress rehearsal now in costume. The only time that anyone ever said anything to me about you know, maybe not being there, the security guy who I got to know, that
Bobby.
Yeah. After everything got rehearsed on Saturday during the day, the only two things left to do were the cold open and the Foo Fighters rehearsing. And I'm just sitting upstairs. I'm on my laptop, just whatever. And he came in. He's like, you know, he didn't say leave, but he was kind of saying like, you know, we got to make sure, blah, blah, blah. And I was getting ready to leave anyway, but he was just like, because of the Foo Fighters, if anything got out on social media. And also, I guess Christopher Walken was going to show up too.
Yes.
You don't want that getting out, that they're surprise guests. So that was the only time he kind of slightly encouraged me to maybe get out of there.
Yeah.
And I did. You were taking a break then in your dressing room. So
I took a nap.
So I went on back.
Or kind of like, when they did their dress rehearsal, I was pretty tired Saturday. It was, you know, because they say they're like, you know, they tell you to eat when you can eat because you don't know when you're going to get to eat. And, you know, and when you go back, you go sleep. I mean, man, the people that work there, I mean, it is all day, and it's just, you know, Saturday is just, and everybody's got a great spirit about them. Everybody's, you know, so nice and excited. I mean, those riders, like, they'll be there till 4 a.m.
There's you taking a break.
Yeah, those are my lawyer.
Yeah, that's the airplane sketch. Lawyer. And
I was just sitting in that, and they were setting it up, and so it was. I was kind of just close. Yeah, I felt very like just my brain felt foggy, and you know, one of those where you're like, I need to slow it down.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of, and then like, so when I had this break, I just I weirdly had like 2-hour break, which is kind of crazy. But during this, I was, that's when I said like, all right, everybody left, and I just laid in there and, you know, and like just try to close my eyes and like half fall asleep, half just kind of reset. And then you go. Cause I mean, people are coming in all the time being like, all right, we changed this up. We got to cut this. Cause we were 9 minutes over when we do dress rehearsal. Cause all right. So George Washington sketch, everybody's, or do you?
Let me, before we get to that, because we're about to do the dress rehearsal with the audience.
Yeah.
I went back to my room briefly, watched a little sports because I'm into DraftKings. NBA season's here now. The wait's over. Basketball is back, and DraftKings Sportsbooks, official sports bettor partner in the NBA, is celebrating with an unbeatable offer. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets for throwing down $5 on the NBA. Nate loves the NBA. The trading season is one of your favorite things in sports.
It's its own sport.
The free agency market.
Yeah.
Basketball is more fun when you're in on the action, and download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code Nateland. New customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly for betting just $5. Only on DraftKings Sportsbooks with code Nateland. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, KS, licensing partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, LA, 21 and up age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario, Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. I hope I'm saying that right. See sportsbook.draftking.com/basketball terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could let you read that and be the whole show.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Saturday. Now it's time for dress rehearsal with a live audience.
Yeah. Which, they did write, we were thinking about, we had one sketch that the two that I came up with that the iPhone no case, they wrote that and it just wasn't, I don't think it was enough for a whole sketch. And then another one I was saying I can't say words correctly. And so we were trying to do a sketch like that where it was like I'm a sports announcer, then we have to have breaking news and go to like a real serious story, and then I can't pronounce any of this stuff. And so that one I thought was pretty funny, but it didn't make it didn't make it past the writing the sketch process.
Yeah.
They wrote the yeah. So Saturday, dress rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal. I get over there. I'm the only one from our group that went to both. And I'm so glad I did, because there is a difference between the dress rehearsal and what makes on the live show. I mean, the cold open. Well, first of all, for both, I don't even know if you know this, Michael Che comes out first. The band's playing the whole time people come in to get seated. Then Michael Che comes out and kind of does a little audience warm up just to get people going, tell them what's going to happen. Then Keenan comes out and sings that song, So Glad We Made It. Is that I don't even know what the title is. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Give Me Some Lovin'.
Maybe not. No, now the more you describe it, the less I know it.
Yeah.
So glad we made it. You got to give me some lovin'. Is that?
Oh yeah. Give me some lovin'.
Oh, it's a newer song?
No, it's a very old song.
Okay, I'm just thinking, looks like we made it.
No,
that's the
like,
song I was
give
thinking.
me some love. Like,
give me some love.
Give me some love.
Oh boy, we're really.
Nah,
give me some love. You've heard it. Give me some love.
We just keep going.
I only sing.
Any other words?
Now I sing too much because I'd sing once.
Yeah.
Give me some love. No.
Open Pandora's box.
Do you guys know that song?
Oh, give me some love.
Anyway,
maybe it's
you don't know
Keenan's
that like,
song.
Give me some love.
No. It's a classic song that the two words. Where's Aaron?
Give me some love.
Do you think you could look it up? You don't have to play it, but you could just tell me what the name of it is.
Yeah. Anyway, he comes out and
can't you play like 1 second of something? I think you can play one. You know. Give me some loving every night. Woohoo! Give me some love. You know what I'm talking about.
Give me some loving. It does sound like, come on, take it easy. Take a free ride.
Yeah.
I feel like that. So.
Well, anyway, he comes out to get the crowd pumped up. He sings that song. 3 of the female cast members come out as his backup singers, and they sing and dance behind him. And it's just to get the crowd going.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy who's 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever. And then the show starts. But the cold open and the dress rehearsal, a lot longer. There were 2 characters that got completely cut from the cold open. Keenan played Clarence Thomas. And the new cast member on there, Chloe Trost, maybe is her name. She played Jill Biden.
Yeah.
Both of those got cut from the show just because didn't get a good reaction. They changed a lot of stuff up.
Yeah. So they're going off that audience, and so you go through and you run the entire show. Like if anybody ever goes, it is good to go to both. I mean, if you only got tickets to one and not the other live one, it's like you get more sketches going to the
dress rehearsal
because we're doing every sketch, so it takes 2 it's 2 hours something versus whatever it is during the taping. And then you do commercials breaks, and you run it as a full legit show. And so I went out and did my stand up, which I think I added something and cut something and whatever. We were 9 minutes over though. So they're like going through it, and they have it, when we do the read throughs of the sketches too, they time them. So they know the times of each sketches. And, so you go right when you do the dress rehearsal, you run that. And the George Washington sketch, is this where I could?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. The George Washington sketch that everybody's likes a lot now.
Yeah, it's everybody's favorite.
It was very good. It was very written good. But during like table reading all this other stuff, I just wasn't. I was just reading it, and then we ran it in the sketch rehearsal. It just, I don't know, I wasn't what I was when
It's
it was
so funny
on.
because everyone thinks you wrote it because it seems like it's such your voice.
No, I did not write any of these sketches. They wrote them.
So
they wrote
George
them
Washington was a lot to say. It's very impressive.
Yeah. Well,
what you
they
pulled
wrote
off.
them. They wrote them in my tone, and that one was I like that one. That one it was in because I mean when I was up there with Lauren, like I kept saying it, and I mean it was probably I think Lauren it was going to get cut. He was like he knew I liked it, and it's obviously one that I'm saying everything in it, and but I mean I wasn't. It's like the idea of it with. When you're doing dress rehearsals and all, when you're doing stuff and there's no audience, it's like I don't have any rhythm. I don't have anything to go off of. Not being an actor, it's like I don't know. I don't bring it. It seems flat. It seems long. It feels long. But when we did the dress rehearsals with an audience, now I get my timing. Now I get to really be into it. And so it was very like I don't think I realized how much it was going to get cut, but it was very fun to be. That was getting cut, and we did it at the very end, and it went from getting cut to then they moved it to second in the show.
It felt like to me in the audience that got the best reaction of any of them, and the second best was the chef competition.
Yeah, and I think it was the chef was they opened it. They wanted to open with the chef one, but they both got moved up. But we also because we have to change. So you have to change into all that George Washington stuff and all that. So it's like that stuff really matters on where stuff is going to go because you're like, well, I don't think he can get out of this. We had the goals sketch that we had where it was these two anatromic, like you can wave and like a thing moves.
The motion.
I thought this was a
motion
person.
sensor.
Anatromic.
Yeah,
she's a singer.
She got fired from the
animatronic,
and then so I was probably playing you, someone that bought a bunch of animatronics for Halloween.
Yeah,
but it's so that one they were spraying water on each other, but that after that it was like Mikey gets so wet and it's just very hard to get him into whatever for the next one. So that stuff all plays into like can they where is it going to fit? What is it going to do? I mean, the show, it's so crazy. So you do the dress rehearsal, and it was very nice. So George Washington, I was like, I like George Washington. He was like, yeah. And you're like, all right, which ones do you not feel? And you're like, this one felt flat. This one felt whatever. So then they pull those two off, and then it's kind of like, all right, here's what we're doing the show. And then you're picking the order of the show. And I'm up there. If anybody watched Studio 60, it was a show Aaron Sorkin, and it was kind of about Saturday Night Live. It's not really anything about Saturday Night Live, but like there's little things. So like there's a room up there that's got a curtain, and it's right above we're up there in that room. And I even told Lauren, like we're up in that room, and I see the curtain, and it's the sliding glass door that opens into the studio. And I was like, this is really like that TV show Studio 60, and they were like laughing at that because that show got so ridiculous. It got like it was. It was like fun. It was like for someone that knows nothing about it, it was like fun to watch. But it was it ended up getting so good. Like they had a hostage situation. Like the guy that plays Lauren, like gets someone out of a hostage. Like it got really insane.
Yeah.
Where it was like, all right, well, this is not true. This is insane. But the little stuff set up was how it was. And so you're up there, you're picking the show. If you saw that post I do where it's the different Post-it notes and the names, my name and Foo Fighters, and so it's like that the sketch idea. So they're naming it and they're placing. All right, well this goes here in the show, and so Lauren just takes it off here, and ask for input and all this, and but I mean, up until it's like, all right, this is the order. We can do this. They got to check to make sure that the crew can. Yeah, we can get that stage flipped over. That stage is over there. This one's over there. We got to slide this in. Show's picked. Then we go downstairs. Everybody is on the floor. Lauren sits up there with the board and has the new order, and he goes, he talks on the microphone, just kind of gives a final, we're a little bit over, maybe a couple things, just make sure he's not really like saying, I mean, I didn't really have any notes. Like he was very nice to let me do the monologue. Like he didn't, cause I was like, I'll cut some of my monologue if, I don't want to mess it up. And he was like, no, he goes, the monologue is great. And it's what you do. And he knows that I was getting introduced to a lot of people that don't know me. However many people can know me, it's just such a different kind of audience that, he was very, very thoughtful and they really want to make it for me. Like the stuff is built, it's written around you. It's built around you. Like, it's really crazy. Like the Washington sketches, like that's written. It's like, this would work for Nate and this would work for his vibe of the show. And so that's the stuff that's like almost mind blowing. Cause you're like, when you look back at it, you're like, yeah, dude, this whole show is like built to be like, all right, we take the host, his vibe, and then we kind of build it off that. And so we go down there and he's like, you gotta, I think it's like kind of just like, just like, look, we're over. So you obviously like some stuff's going to get cut. There ended up being 2 sketches cut. One, we were like, you're almost a vampire one, I think was in there, but it was going to get cut.
I think it was more than 2 cut.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's more than 2. Noah's Ark, vampire, and then the teachers.
Yeah. The teachers. I thought there was maybe one more, but
there might've been one more.
Yeah.
So you can see like, all right, these didn't really play.
The diner got cut. Oh, that's vampire. Yeah.
And so you feel what's going to get cut. And then the teachers one was the only one. That's right. Teachers was going to make it to live, but it's the only one that didn't make it to live.
Yeah. And do you think they'll ever like reuse those sets or bring that back later?
I asked them, I said, what do you do about the sketches that, because
they build whole sets,
Yeah. What do you do about, and some of the sketches are funny that don't get made. I was like, do you reintroduce them? And they said, yeah. They go, yeah, sometimes they will redo them. Maybe they rewrite them and it's got a different kind of feel. For whatever reason, it didn't really work in this, but it's like that idea will work again. Like they had one that I really liked that I think would have been funny. It was kind of like the same feel of the George Washington one. It wasn't history. It was a football coach, but that kind of like a guy just rambling off about something that's not what should be talked about at the moment or whatever.
So what about like with the George Washington? Like, I mean, I'm sure you got some of it memorized and you're reading some, right? But it was a lot of information.
Yeah.
So like reading that feels like that would be hard if you're just reading the whole thing, but it also seems impossible to just memorize. So what's that like?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was about to say, I always thought, why don't they just memorize it? They rewrite so much. Yeah. It changes constantly.
Well, memorizing's hard. I mean, it's like you can memorize something like our stand-up sets are all memorized, but It's like just memorizing something that someone wrote with a ton of numbers in it. I mean, that's hard.
I did not memorize it. I was just reading off the cards.
So, but it's like, even then it's like, if you're just straight reading, I don't know. I just don't feel like it would come off as natural.
I mean, that was, this is how great everybody was there is you can, they want this to go like that. That's like something that they say sometimes a host might think where they think like, nah, they're trying to screw me. It's a show that they want it to go great.
Right.
They don't want to make anybody look bad. They want you to feel comfortable and they want you to be excited and they want you to look good and make the show look good. And so they're trying to do everything they can to like do that.
Right.
And they would show me how to like read, when I first started reading I was like looking right at the camera, just being like, oh, the other day I went to the, and you're just like, you can tell that you're reading. And it's more of like, you look and you kind of grab the line. So you would, you kind of just like, it's like the Nate Bargatze good problem to have poster behind it. You just kind of like grab it and you're like, good problem to have. And then we went to Beeman Lobby and maybe I grab it there and I say it there. And then I kind of grab it back there. And that's what I was trying to do with that George Washington sketch is there's cue cards. I mean, there's, I think 4 sets of them and they're just all like here. Wally, the cue card. I mean, all the cue card people, but he was. I mean, he would be really good. Let me tell you one in the airplane sketch where when Heidi stands up and says, "I'm the most important job of all," and I go, "What do you do?" And she says, "I'm a mother."
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the "What do you do" line, and so I'm just standing there, and there's a weird pause, and if you know it, and it's so great, Wally's holding it, and he sees me, and I'm like sitting here like waiting for her to do it, and then he goes and like points at the line, and I go, "What do you do?" And then I say it. But that was one I forgot.
That was the only one I noticed.
Yeah.
It's a great line, by the way, because I watched this with my wife, who is a mom, who used to do comedy, but now a stay-at-home mom. And we're watching it, and I'm like, oh, no. When you said that line, I was like, oh, no. And she loved it. She was like, it was done so well.
Yeah.
That it's like, you gave props to the moms, but then you're like, in terms of real things, like making money. Yeah. And it was very funny.
Yeah. Well, we booed teachers.
Which
was very funny.
Which I also liked.
Yeah.
That scene the end got changed every time in the rehearsal. Mm-hmm. In the practicing leading up to it, and then Dave, at first it was Dave Grohl was going to come out and said, "I'm a rock star. It's number one," or whatever.
Yeah, and then he was going to play his song, and then we would all dance.
And he's going to say something, and I've slept with up to 5 women, something silly like that. Then they change it to, and you're like, well, why do you fly? Why are you in coach then? He's like, it's not it's coach. It's a comedy plus.
Yeah. It was a first class. And then the thing that I got a little hung up on that because I was like, it looks like first class. It's 2 rows. It doesn't even look like comfort.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, yeah. I was like thinking about that. But now we didn't even.
But it ends up totally different. He comes out in scrubs. And
yeah. And he goes, "This is my Halloween costume."
Yeah.
What made it kind of a Halloween, Halloween episodes are fun there. And so then he came on and he's great. Mm-hmm. He's been there 15. He's done 15 of them.
Wow,
more than any other musical act because he was there with Nirvana and.
With in regards to Christopher Walken and the Foo Fighters, a lot of people in the comments talked about that, how they were like, "Oh, it's such a great inside thing to have Christopher Walken," and I didn't get it. Do you guys know what that is all about?
Yeah, because it was going viral of them on SNL, and he introduced them, and I think said their name wrong.
He kind of emphasized weird Foo Fighters or something like that.
Yeah, he was like, Foo Fighter, or something. It was
like years ago.
Years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 20 years ago or something. He said it kind of weird. So they had him say it right this time.
Yeah. This is from yesterday where he finally says it right.
Because when he introduced them, I thought, well, that's weird. The host usually introduces the musical guest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know if y'all can hear that, but
yeah,
that was the original.
That's a good one to tell the audience that's listening. Like they're, I don't know if y'all can.
Well, I mean, the volume's up here, so I think
there's just thousands of people listening to this, and they just get all right. Did y'all hear? It doesn't matter. Yeah. I don't know if y'all heard that. All right. Yeah. So it's like he said it correctly.
Okay.
So I mean, that kind of stuff happens too, like the cameos. Because I got asked in interviews, they were like, "Do you know who's popping on or who's coming?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't know anybody." And then they had, because we had that chef show, so that's when they got Padma to come do it. And then I think he asked Walken to come do it because the Foo Fighters were on, and then that, and it added, and when Walken coming out first, it was like added some excitement to be like, had a nice little pop, like his, big thing to help. My first time hosting, like just come up and, have Walken come out and be like, the crowd goes, you just, I'm backstage, you just hear them go nuts. Did you know who, I don't know, who says it's live from New York, it's Saturday night? Do you know who always says that?
It was a different person every week.
Yeah. It's always a cast member.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was, Walken might have said it this time.
Yeah.
But they're like, unless it's like Alec Baldwin or it's like a host or someone that's been there a bunch.
Yeah.
They've done it where they can say it. But I didn't know it was always a cast member.
Yeah. It's usually a political sketch in the cold open. It'll be like Biden or Trump or whoever's playing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never thought about. I don't think I realized that because I thought, oh, am I going to get to say live from New York at Saturday night? But
yeah, it's never the host.
Yeah,
there's video of you backstage before you walk out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw it today at Saturday Night Live posted like when he says live from New York at Saturday night, and then it shows them breaking down the set and getting ready for getting everything cleared out while they're introducing the cast, and it shows you standing backstage. Waiting to walk through that door.
Oh, yeah.
And then the floor director, she's back there. And then talk about the woman who holds your hand,
Donna,
and runs back and forth.
Well, the whole crew there is it's very wild. It was like, I mean, you're having to change clothes so fast. You know, like Pete Davidson texted me when he was like, "Look, Donna is." He goes, "Just follow her and do what she tells you to do, because you're, this is all in real time, so you've got to just be in and out of stuff." And so they had Donna, Jerry, and the makeup, Katie, I think was the one. I'm blanking on some of, but they were with me, and they're going around. So you have these four ladies. So they're right under, like, that hallway, the hallway that everybody would know that hallway because they show stuff down there sometimes, but. Right under the bleachers, there's a little area, and they have a curtain up, and I just run back in there every time and change, and then she walks me back. And I mean, cameras are all moving. So when I say that Saturday Night Live, you can see it on the Fran Drescher because the camera was there a little bit longer. If the Fran Drescher sketch, I just stand there holding the bowl of candy, and I'm waiting for the girl that's the prop girl, and the prop girl like goes, and she comes, she takes that, and I think I'm just waiting for my hand to be grabbed by Donna. I'd like, cause you just get used to Donna's like, just hold your hand out and I'm gonna grab your hand. And then you just follow her and you like run through the crowd. And I mean, that stuff is probably very fun to watch if you go to a live one.
She's pulling him so fast, like you're almost about to fall down.
There was like 2 times where, I mean, we are rolling. Like you just pull off and it's just, and then you got to go back there, and then they just like, you get your pants off, then they got them where they're just open, and you step into the new ones, they yank them up. You're leaning on people, you're stepping into this, and she goes, your hands behind you, your hands go behind you, your jacket's on, this on. The wig person, she goes, puts that on, does it, touches everything, and then you're like there, then you're like, and then you just right back out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super, super fast. And Jenna, who is, she's like running it all, like in the front. She's the one like back there with you too. And she tells you, when I walk out, you got to hit the mark that you go stand on. So I walked out on the monologue. I come out, and then they go, it's really great because everybody that works there, they really are awesome. And they're like, you're going to do great, man. Like they're just so positive and rooting for you. And it's such a wonderful feeling. And, everybody, Sam, she was behind the scenes, but she worked with Lauren, and she kind of walking around. Rebecca, like but I stand on that mark, and then you just sit there and wave. And it's like, but you got to wait till like this guy will do this with his hands. And he just goes, and when he says that, you go, thank you very much. And then they hand me the microphone. And then I go into my act. And when I'm done, we got a great show for you tonight. Foo Fighters are here. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. And then you just kind of stand there. And then it's like Jenna's like looking at you, and Donna's right. And like every time I'm done with something, they're there and they're just waiting for it to be like, all right, cameras, And then someone grabs the microphone. They grab me. I shoot straight back to the back. First sketch was the chef show. That was a little bit easier to get into. It's like I just took my stuff off chef thing, and she runs me out there. But then from chef to George Washington we were moving
because everything else had a wig. Also, chef show, you said your hair.
I had a wig during the dress rehearsal.
Yeah,
and then they changed it and just gave me no wig because I think it just played better.
What did your wig look like?
It's kind of a fro wig, a little bit.
Yeah, it's so funny how they think about every little thing.
Yeah,
maybe not the wig. And
yeah, It just looked better without the wig.
In the Fran Drescher one, originally in the rehearsal, like she like throws a kid.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was a prop, but she acts like she's throwing a kid. And
she was great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sarah Sherman.
Lauren was even saying like that got moved up in the fact that, he's like, if you have kids in sketches, you want them up a little bit because people at home will be mad that you got them out this late. Oh. Which is like, it's a weird thing that you got to think about, that you got to be, there's going to be, and I mean, these people getting mad, or who knows how, it's probably not a lot, but
yeah.
But it is like, and older people just being like, yeah, I don't like those kids being out there till it's 12:30 at night.
People from the internet always get mad.
Yeah.
When you were rehearsing Friday night, it's like 11 o'clock and you're doing you're doing the ghouls, and there's a kid in that one.
Yeah.
And they spray, it's not just water, it's like some type of goo or something, right?
It was like a brown water.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a guy comes up, the mom of that kid is sitting up there where I am, and he comes up and he said, hey, he doesn't have any allergies or anything, right? Because we're about to spray this stuff and we don't want him to have some allergic reactions. They have to think of all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. They asked me about the allergies. They just have to check all this. Like, you don't know what's, I mean, especially now, it's like people are so like, I just had an allergic reaction to the outside in Wichita. So it's, you can, anything could set anything off.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that. What happened to you?
I was in Wichita. We're doing a show, and I was going to run, doing the right thing, and I go run. I guess they have real big ragweed. They have Wichita is Wichita, like Oklahoma City. It was almost everywhere we went. Kansas, somewhere in Texas. The most allergies in the country, in Scranton, Pennsylvania, is also. They have the most allergies, and so we just go run. I run like a mile and a half, but where I'm running is like along. There's just weeds and grass and everything, and then I get back and my hands are itching, my feet are itching, and my lip starts puffing up really bad. And so, the show's in 2 hours. And then I go inside, and then then it starts getting even worse. And now we're like an hour from the show. So then an EMT came down and looked, but he couldn't really do anything because he didn't have any, like.
He's like, call it.
Yeah. It was very funny. He goes, it was his first day, and they go, all right, go down there. And so he comes in, and he's like, hey, and then everybody leaves. So they just leave me and him in there together. And it's kind of just uncomfortable. And he's like, does everything work? He's like, I think he was just making sure I'm not dying, like my throat's not closing up or something. But you could just tell, like, this is not what he does. I mean, he was just telling me, he's like, it's my first day. I don't know. I'm just here to make sure you're not dying. He checks my pulse. And I remember, like, I watched him just try to do the math for the pulse, which was funny. Just seeing him just be like, 1, 2, 7, 7. He's like trying to count. He goes, pulse is like 70 something probably. And you're like, all right, that's good. Which is that low? That's a low, right? Or is that good?
I think that's good.
Okay. Yeah. So he's like, the pulse is like, was good. And then he comes back a little bit later with the orange emergency bag and just basically being like, I don't think there's anything. He's like, I was looking for an EpiPen, which is, I mean, if you'd have stuck me with an EpiPen, that would have been real bad. But it wasn't a food allergy. But I mean, if I would have just got stuck with it, like if he had brought down and be like, here's an EpiPen, and I got stuck with that, I think you have to go to the hospital if you get stuck with an EpiPen.
I mean, has this guy not had any training?
I'm an EMT at a arena.
Yeah.
In Wichita. I just don't think they're not doctors, and they haven't been.
What did you do? Take like Benadryl?
So I didn't want to take Benadryl because I was going to make me asleep. We had another doctor come. The venue knew a guy, that Dr. Sean, that EMT guy was very nice. And he did everything he could have possibly done. And then this guy, Dr. Sean, that the venue, someone knew him there. He came, he brought me, I think some steroid things. And then I had to take some Benadryl. So I took some Benadryl. Then I fall asleep. And then I get woken up like 10 minutes before the show. I mean, I'm about to go on stage. And then I'm like kind of, and then I go on. And when I go on, I'm like kind of half, like, I mean, I was asleep a little bit ago, this Benadryl, my lips like crazy. But the show was great. it was so funny. I mean, I had like one of the better shows because you're just kind of loose.
That's what I'm saying. When you're a little tired, it can be really good. You're like loopy and you're like loose.
I got all the jokes out.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
And I heard you say on Seth Meyers that Laura said, if you can do that, you can do Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. Laura was like, if you can, because I mean, I to go from like, because I was like, I didn't know if I was going to fall asleep, but I like laid down and I kind of got knocked out. And Chase was telling me that it took like 5 minutes to he was knocking on the door and not coming, like to wake me up. And and then you're just up and then you got to go do a live show, in front of everybody. And she was like, if you can do that, you can do Saturday Night Live. And so, the most nervous I got with Saturday Night Live, I mean, you're nervous walking out to do the monologue both times. You're just kind of like, I hope this goes good. This goes good. And then I would say the run through on Saturday, I got really nervous.
During the day?
During the day, when no crowds there.
Yeah.
Because you're, it's like you're looking at which camera to look at. This camera's on. This camera. When you deliver a line, I could deliver the line before the camera even cuts to me. Because, it's a second, and so if I have a little quick line, I could say it and then the camera wouldn't even be on me. And there's monitors so you can see what's being seen on the thing. So there's a lot of this stuff that's playing into it. And where I know when I would say my line, like when the friend dressed her and she's like, you're dressed like Sloth. Well, they got the camera on her. And in the corner of my eye, I can see that it switches to me. And then when it switches to me, then I'm like, I'm just holding the baby Ruth. And then I do the joke. But you got to kind of wait a second because the camera's got to come to you.
Yeah.
Keenan is unreal. Yeah. He's unreal. I mean, that whole cast is really great. Even Sarah Fran that is the new one, James, Andrew's very funny. I mean, they're all Heidi and Chloe, the ones that have been there for a long time. They're just so good. They just get it. They just can get into anything. They can do anything. Like it's such a really like special skill to have.
Ego too.
Ego. So I mean, just so punky. I mean, it's all Marcella. They're all. I mean, everybody's unreal. At Bowen, who's the doctor that goes, I'm a doctor, and he goes, not that doctor. And then Chloe, who was in that airplane sketch too. All of them are. There's 2 Chloes there now. But they're just all so good. That cast is really, really good. And it was like, and I could see it. It's like, I haven't got to watch Saturday Night Live much really. Cause it's just, you're always kind of working. So, and seeing them do fun sketches like that are just stupid and silly, I mean, they loved it. And, it was, man. Yeah. And Keenan is just so good. Like
he's been there a long time, huh?
The longest.
Well, yeah. 20 years.
Wow.
But he's, phew.
Yeah, there was a Noah's Ark sketch that got cut where Nate's Noah and Keenan's, after it started raining, Keenan's knocking on the door trying to get in.
Yeah.
And Nate's wife doesn't want him to.
Yeah, Noah's wife's like, no. And then it's like, I open the door and he's like, what do you got a lot more room in here than this. It was a very funny sketch. It didn't do, I don't know if it just took a second to figure out who I was or what was going on, or it just wasn't clicking, but it was a sketch that was very funny.
And they bring in live animals and doesn't even make air.
Yeah. They brought in goat. These goats were going crazy too. They were like hitting each other and making a lot of noise, and everybody's like, are these goats okay? And the guy that brought them's like, yeah, they're just being goats. And you could tell he was like getting annoyed that everybody's like, yeah, but they're fighting. And he's like, yeah, it's goats, baby goats.
Yeah.
So they're going to fight. And he was like, just totally fine with it. And everybody else is like, well, should we feed them or something? And he's like, no, that's just, they're making a weird noise. Why is that noise weird? He goes, it's a goat noise. Everything was just like, well, they're goats. And that's a goat noise. So that's why it's like that.
I was like wanting you to be a writer on this Noah's Ark sketch because you'd be like, hold on, guys. God wouldn't want him in because of mankind's sin. And you'd be totally shut it down.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
You want to read some questions from?
Yeah. All right. So read some comments. You know,
some questions from
some questions.
people.
Yeah, this is yeah. I hope people like this.
It's probably not going to be
they're going to love it.
Our funniest episode, but it's our most interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Reed Jones, was that Nate's real yearbook pick in the Hallmark movie sketch? It was. It's my real one. I have a bigger picture of it too, because my mom got a big one.
How did they get it?
They just asked, but Abigail and Travis. And
so you didn't have to so your mom did get involved in
the
whole process.
Yeah. My mom was happy because when they bought that one, because I have a really big picture. They have like a giant photo of me in that picture because of my senior year.
Yeah.
And so they spent, it was expensive, and it was one that I think my dad's still like, I can't believe you spent that money, much money on that. She's like, well, see, now look at it.
Yeah.
It ended up working out. So it was the whole thing was like mine was big, and then Derek's was smaller than Abigail's was very small.
Mm-hmm.
So it just got down to be like,
I think you showed that on this podcast once.
Yeah.
Because that's when you were trying to model at the mall and or something.
Yeah. Didn't make it. Clayton Stoecker. 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 That E
seems
comes
like an
out of nowhere.
unnecessary E, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wonder if Clayton.
I guess if it wasn't in there, it'd be Stalker. I guess that makes sense.
Stoker. And you would say Stoker. Yeah. But his name is Clayton, so it's like Clay, but they add the ton. He's got a lot of just.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on.
It seems like Clayton Stoker is like trying to hide. His name is Clay Stoker, and he's wanted for something. And then the best he came up with was Clayton Stoecker.
Yeah.
With an E.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm not that guy.
Witness protection.
Yeah. And they go,
but he didn't want to lose his whole
But he didn't want to
identity.
lose. Yeah. He goes, what do your friends call you? Clay Stoker.
Yeah.
Stalker. And then you're like, well, that's the guy we're looking for. Well, that's crazy. Was anything discussed with Please Don't Destroy? And ultimately, how come you were not in dog food or a different Please Don't Destroy skit idea? Yeah, I talked with them about the dog food. I was going to be in that sketch with them. They had me in that sketch as being the pitch person for it. This original idea was that, and then they just went and filmed it in their office, and I think it was just better. It was like if I was in it, but it was probably feeling a little forced to get me in it. It just and so it just flowed better without me in it. So I wasn't. But those dudes are super funny.
Yeah.
Reed Jones again. We're only doing Reed Jones.
Oh, did I have 2 Reed Jones in there?
Yeah, Reed Jones.
Well, he's good.
All right,
Reed Jones, good. How did they handle the Matthew Perry news? It seemed like some of the folks on stage at closing credits were learning about his death in that very moment. They flashed Perry's image on the monitors. Yeah, that's what they did. I think I heard he died right before someone just said it, but it was right before we're going on, maybe the live show.
Yeah.
So I did it. Yeah, there was really no way to, like, how were you going to address that? They just showed it. I mean, I don't think they really put anything up besides just the picture. They did it very well it was done very well for the moment. I mean, so at the end, when you come out and, I'm standing there, you go there and we go. So the sketch that got cut, I'm in this teacher's pet sketch. I'm fully, when the Foo Fighters are playing that second time, I had a moment so I could go stand out there and watch. I'm like watching, and I'm in full outfit ready for this next sketch because we don't know if it's getting cut or not. And so then they're like, all right, it might get cut. Then they're like, we don't think it's getting cut. And then they go, it's cut. And then so once it's cut, I got to take everything off and I put my goodnight clothes on, the 37138 shirt, which is, it's like NB Goods is the lady that made that shirt for us. I reposted her on Instagram, but I believe it's NB Good. Yeah, they're local. They're here. 37. Yeah, you can pre-order it. It's seen on. Yeah, there you go.
Look at that.
Yeah. So she was very nice, and she posted, because they weren't going to sell them because it's like it was my idea to wear.
Dusty,
that
look at those hats.
That is a good hat.
Good,
I mean,
hats.
2 trucker hats right there.
But yeah, go buy that shirt. If you that's all supports her. That all goes to her. So she was. Yeah, I mean, we had to put that together real fast, and it was super. And they, they did it and they brought 6 hoodies because we didn't know which one would fit and all that. And so, yeah, go support that nice little local.
Yeah.
I think they're in, I think she's even in Old Hickory or somewhere down there. But so I go out there and then Lauren tells you, hey, do this. And then he tells you how much time you're going to have. So he always be like, you have 14 seconds. So you're going to have 30. I think we had 30 seconds. And he goes, you have 30 seconds of, say whatever you want to say. You say, please welcome Foo Fighters, or please thank you, Foo Fighters, Christopher Walken, her, and
that's another big
Padma
act that
Luckme.
was
Yeah,
on
her. Yeah, she came on and did that. Her. Yeah, she was super cool, super nice. And then Padma Lakshmi was good. She was very nice too. I mean, everybody was just so nice. Walken, I only used, if you see me talk to him on stage, that's the only time I talk to him. And he was like, "Oh, it's your first time." He goes, "This is pretty interesting the way they do it." You go, "Yeah, it's crazy." I mean, he's 80. You know, you're like, "Yeah," and you're like, "It's crazy." Talk, you just kind of talk to him. Then you're like, "I don't know," And then,
what do you say to Christopher Walken?
Yeah. And then, but he was like, he was cool, and so, then, we did see him show that Matthew Perry kind of thing, and but I don't think not everybody knew. I mean, it was, it happened kind of right when it was going on. Philip Wiley at the end of SNL when everyone was talking as the credits rolled, one of the Foo Fighters held up 2 fingers to Nate and seemed to say something happened twice. What was he talking about? I would have to see it. I don't know what he said.
Yeah, I watched it
twice.
Right when you say goodnight, you turn around and you're talking to him, and he was like, twice.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know what the twice was. He was telling me, maybe he was telling me when he goes, when we're in Nashville, we're going there, come to the show. Like, we'd love you to come out to the show or something. He was telling me, inviting me to the show. Like, next time they're in Nashville, I could come to the show. And then, so maybe he's saying we're going to be there twice or we've been there. I don't know. I don't remember what the 2 times was, but it was, or maybe we did it 2 times. Maybe that was it. Maybe he said that you done it. He goes, there you go. You did it. You did it twice tonight. Cause we did dress rehearsal and then we did that. So maybe that's what he said now that I think about it. And, so I think he said that, then he just invited me to the show and was like saying, they were like, great. John Hoskins. What were the best snacks backstage on Saturday Night Live? Solid spread or underwhelming? No, they get you anything you would ever want. They brought these pretzels. Every day you're getting like gifts. Like someone local kind of gives you this or that, or Fallon gave me a nice gift. And which is very nice. And because Fallon, like I talked to Seth Meyers and Fallon, and they were all super helpful with me. And
they also have NBC pages that'll go get you.
Yeah, they'll go get you whatever. Yeah, I mean, you could be like, I want anything. Like they got me. We do this a lot on the road, and they went and got this for us. But so on the road for kind of a quick lunch, we always get like 2 boxes of Jersey Mike's. And so we've been doing that. And so I was like, we did that every day just to have, not the boxes, but just some of the sandwiches, just because they're easy to eat. And it's like, it's the way I can eat them and like them.
And delicious.
They're great.
Yeah.
And so we do that on the road, and we've been doing that a lot. So Travis would get that and just go tell someone like, let's get some Jersey Mike's. Let me tell you, Wendy's has some salads right now. They have this apple salad, and they have a Caesar salad, supposedly. I haven't tried the Caesar salad, but they're unbelievable. Great.
Wendy's has always had a good salad game, I think.
They got this apple salad.
I don't eat it, but I think they've always
It's great. Well, their apple ones are great. You can shake them up. So I just was doing that. I was getting Wendy's, and I had 5 guys back there.
All right.
Then, I didn't have much. Like, I was kind of fasting. I'm going back on my fasting. That's where I think I do the best. But like, just go as long as you can. So, I mean, I would try to go to like 4 till I ate. I don't wake up till 11, something like that. So then it's kind of easier. Then you go 4 or 5 o'clock, then I would eat. But I had some steak the final day, like some protein, because I felt tired and depleted, and I needed some. But I don't think I mean, they have like a craft room and they had everything there. I don't know if I really went in there though. I probably a lot of more healthier stuff too, because a lot of people want, because that stuff is where people get just, they have cupcakes. They could have anything and everything you would ever
I mean,
dream of.
I became a problem.
Did you eat some?
Oh,
you went in there.
The craft room?
Yeah.
No, I did walk. Somebody walked me through there once and showed it to me. I was joking about that, but they did. They'd go get you coffee or breakfast or
I had a lot of coffee, a lot of just whatever was ready and available.
Mm-hmm.
Renee Mathis. I'm curious, were there any leftover props hanging around from days gone by? Like, could you try on a cone head or a land shark costume? So much TV history has been made there. Congrats for being part of it. When I went in the wig thing, there was a lot of stuff in there. I don't think I saw the cone head, but I saw like an alien thing. And the guy that's been there, he's been there forever. He's made everything. So they, I mean, you could definitely go through and like, you could see some stuff. You see because they have everybody's face. That's they scan it. So I mean, you see Will Ferrell's face. So if Will Ferrell comes on the show, they already have his head size, his face, his everything. Obviously, him being on it, and so then they just mold the sketches to the wigs to that, and then when they put them on, they just have your size already.
Wow.
So if you've been on the show now, they don't have to, I guess, do that again.
So Barry Bonds hosted years ago.
They might have to do his. Did he host?
No, but he's infamous for his head growing so much.
Yeah, they would have had to, I guess, redo his head.
Yeah.
Mary Newquist. Just wondering if Saturday Night Live compensates you as a host or if you do it for free and it's just for the prestige. You get paid, and you just get paid like it's the union pay. Just like doing any kind of Tonight Show or any of that stuff. It's definitely not a thing you're doing for the money. It's for the prestige of it. The difference was some of it is I paid for. I think I might pay for some. I had to pay for a lot of they might pay for my hotel, but like usually like if I was promoting a movie, since I was doing it as just a stand up, it's like some stuff I would pay for, but like if I was on a Netflix movie, and Netflix is paying for, they would pay for my, it's like my publicist is there. So I pay, it's just stuff like that where you're paying for some of the people's travels versus where, if I was there for a reason outside of just me, it's like the Netflix would pay for it or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
When you do like David Spade show or Nashville Squares, is it just similar, just like the union rate?
I think so. I mean, I did not make a lot of money.
Yeah.
It was fine. I was happy with it, but it was not a lot of money.
You obviously do it for exposure more than anything.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't do it for free.
Sure.
But they pay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it might be like $1,500 or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and it also depends on different times. I mean, the first time I did the Tonight Show, the money they paid me, I was like, all right, that's what I'm talking about. But, the third time, I'm like, well, all right, I'm doing okay now. You know what I mean?
What is this?
This is fine.
Yeah.
But I'm doing okay now,
Yeah, there's no, you don't, I mean, if I go on Fallon, I could essentially, they might pay for my hotel, but like if I'm going on just to be whatever, it's like you just kind of pay for it. Like me going on Seth Meyers was, you just go on like that. I mean, they're helping me, but it's right there. It's like they don't have to pay for that. That stuff really comes into play with. I'm not saying I can't play with Saturday Night Live, but with the corporate kind of side of it, which is logistics of anything. To be like, well, we need him out for this, so we'll pay for this. We're giving all that kind of stuff. That stuff plays into a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I mean, plays into it is like, what does it matter, Tyler Harris, did you go to the SNL after party? If so, how crazy was it? Were you the first or the last to leave? We went to that SNL party. We did not get there till 2, I think.
But the show's not over till 1.
Yeah.
It wasn't that close.
It goes from 1 to 4. We got there at 2 a.m. It was, I mean, right when you walk in, it's very nice because then they, they walk you to your table. I got a big giant table in the back of this restaurant. They rented out this restaurant, and Lauren's there, and Chris Rock and John Mulaney both came down. They came down to the taping, which was very nice. And they said Seinfeld told me he was going to come, but he wasn't in town, and but so it was very nice that they came. That Rock and Mulaney came.
Yeah, that's really good.
They were, yeah. I did not know they were coming, and so it's makes you feel good. Look when they're supporting you. So and then we go to the after party. I mean, there's a lot of people there. I mean, and I was told it's gonna be like your wedding. Like, so the comics and my crew that came, Brian Soder, Soder's girl Katie Nolan,
Julian McCullough, Dan
Shackey,
Brian Dorfman,
you, Laura,
and I saw our friend
Travis was there.
Our Nashville friend Casey Shornaima, who writes for SNL.
Yes, yes,
yeah. I saw a picture with her with you guys.
Yeah. And awesome. So, me, her, and James and Bates all took a picture. Dorfman too, I think.
Yeah, James wasn't in it. Unfortunately.
Because James. I think James left. But I went back there and sat, like, Lauren sits at the table and everybody kind of goes up to him. So I went up and talked to Lauren, and then, it was like just me, Mulaney, Rock, talking to Lauren, and just, telling some stories, just talking about it and stuff like that. And
somebody said Lauren, it's like a mafia don. He sits back there at that table and people just come back to talk to the Godfather.
Yeah. It's very cool. I mean, the cast goes up and talks to him, and he'll talk to him for a while.
Yeah.
Like he's very approachable, and you go to him, which you should, and then I'm sure back in the day, those parties were probably, I mean, I think they could be as crazy as they want. I mean, I'm sure people I didn't really see a ton. It's like, I was like towards the back, but some housewife was there. I don't know.
Dorinda.
Oh, there you go.
Times have changed. Back in the day when Leon Russell was the musical guest, I'm sure the after party was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Well, there's an after party apparently, which we did not go to.
Stand. Yeah, that was at the stand, and I know people went to that, and I was like, you felt like, but it's I went to bed at like 6 a.m. And then we had to get up at like noon or something to go. But I mean, I felt pretty good. I mean, you just feel you're just on a high, man.
I bet so.
Yeah, you're just like, I can't believe it's over.
It was a hot episode. I mean, it's not like you went on and everybody's like, "Hey, that was good. Congrats on being there." It was a hot episode.
Yeah,
it was.
I mean, I've not watched SNL in a while, but I mean, the last ones that I watched, I mean, there's always funny stuff, but it was a hot episode.
Yeah.
I thought so too, but then you're like, I don't know, I'm so close to it, I'm biased. But then when you read online that everyone's saying that, it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was like I was excited to go do it, and I was very excited to be done with it. I would like to do it again, but it's like once the week there, you're ready to be like, I'm ready to you're like, this was a lot. And so I'm ready to go back to Peoria.
Yeah,
basically.
Keegan Michael Key came from a Halloween party.
Oh yeah,
dressed in full costume. Him from
and his wife.
Yeah,
very funny.
Both of them dressed as I don't even know, Madame Butterfly and something.
Yeah. Mike Johnson, I'm curious to know, who is your favorite cast member of all time? What is your favorite bit/character of all time?
Is this the new Speaker of the House?
Yeah, I think it is. He was in the Gold Open. For me, it's Dana Carvey is my favorite cast member.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, and I feel like it's kind of true, everyone's favorite cast is the one from like when you were in junior high, because that's like your...
Yeah, for sure.
And
I mean, the Rob Schneider, Adam Sandler, David Spade, Chris Farley, I mean, that's my era.
Yeah.
And I mean, that'll forever be my favorite.
Yeah. I mean, it really, I was a big Spade fan, which I'm doing their podcast. I've been talking to Spade and Carvey. I'm a big Spade fan. Sandler, obviously Chris Farley. I mean, you just kind of go for that. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, I don't know if there's one person as much as it's kind of the crew, but the Will Ferrell, that was very much my, kind of phase. Bill Hader, I I like obviously Bill Hader is so funny, and I know he's very funny. But I've come around it. I like more and more. I'm like want to go back and watch more of his SNL. I think I was just starting. I was in comedy probably already, so it's like you don't see that as much as you as I realized. But like, yeah, I mean, Bill Hader's so funny. Dude.
Yeah,
he's so funny.
I loved all the Chris Farley stuff. Man, but one of my favorite sketches, it's not that many years ago, was Tom Hanks when he went on Black Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Oh, such a good one.
Yeah, it's just so funny.
So good.
Yeah. That's probably that one's very funny. That could be it. Yeah, that's not too long ago. I mean, Down by the River. Yeah. A lot of those sketches, man. You just do remember a lot of the sketches.
I mean, so much of our pop culture is from that show.
Yeah, I had VHS, best of Chris Farley and best of Adam Sandler, and I used to watch those all the time. But I can't even think of a sketch right now. I used to watch them all the time, but I couldn't even.
Lunch Lady.
Yeah, oh yeah, very
Chris
good.
Farley, Chippendales was very popular.
Oh, with Patrick Swayze.
That was great.
Yeah, but the van down by the river. What's his name? Foley, the motivational speaker. Matt Foley. Yeah. I mean, I love Dana Carvey, Church Chat, and all that stuff.
I liked Spades when he would do the
Hollywood Gossip. Yeah, that was very funny.
Yeah. It was just perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Spade's the best. I mean, his humor is my favorite kind of humor.
Yeah.
I mean, his stuff. I mean, it's like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep. I mean, so much of the credit goes to Chris Farley, and obviously he's hilarious. But being paired up with the dry sense of humor of Spade it's like in Black Sheep when he first meets Chris Farley's character, who's Mike Donnelly, he sees him working on a car and he goes, "Please don't be Mike Donnelly."
Yeah.
And it's like that line is just so funny to me. And his whole interaction with Gary Busey in that movie is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Saturday Night Live is very special. It's a very like what I would say about my experience there is that I think this cast is very funny. This cast was, obviously when you go it's like anything. If you went to it, you would love it, and you would be like, this show's great and it's funny, and sometimes when you watch stuff on TV, you can be removed from it or the excitement that you once had, or maybe they've done too much political stuff, and that like people got kind of over that stuff, and I understand that, and but when you see it, when you're doing it, you're like, that cast, they had a million ideas and they were all super fun. And I mean, I really felt very comfortable after that first day when it was like, they were like, hey, just go pitch this. They really do mold the show around what, the host vibe is kind of going to be. And Don, and I mean, everybody that works there, dude, they're yanking you around. You get off the stage and you're just running, and then your pants are off, and then you step into new pants and shoes, and then you're this, and then you different whole new thing, and then you go stand out there, and the whole experience is something special. And, and what Lorne brings to it with that loyalty to his employees and all the people that work there and stuff, that's something that's that is very missed in this world now, and it's something that shows you why that show has been on and why people have liked it for so long, is because it's it's bred, a lot of our entertainment has come from out of that show.
Yeah, there's some rumors floating out there that next year their 50th anniversary could be their last. You get any vibes on that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't see it being like the show would end.
Yeah, 50 years. Lorne will be nearly 80.
Yeah.
There's another internet rumor that Tina Fey may take over. It's just stuff floating out there.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. I mean, no, I don't. I mean, like I don't know. I think I bet it goes, but I don't know. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason of any. There's no answer I could give you.
We didn't mention like Norm Macdonald News Desk.
Yeah.
I mean, that was always so great. His stuff was always so good.
Yeah, he was a great weekend update.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much people secretly are tired of it or whatever. But I mean, the energy around the place is not like we want this to end, and I don't feel like I didn't feel like the energy felt like it was like coming to an end. Now it would be another year, so not saying that they would, but it doesn't. It's not like you just feel people or like no one says anything of either way. So I think it's like, who knows what can happen, but it's a special thing.
Yeah.
That I really, really enjoyed it. I loved it so much. I thought it was so fun. And they're just so great, man. They make you feel, because, you feel kind of out of place in it. I always thought that with like with everything, I always felt, not that I felt out of place, but you feel out of place. Like, I'm just from Old Hickory. I'm just like from here and all this. So when you're there and you're around that stuff and you're like, dude, you're seeing him. It's crazy with Matthew Perry. Like, I mean, in Lauren's office, he has like, when Matthew Perry is on, there's like logs of, you're just seeing the names. It's like Alec Baldwin and Matthew Perry or like whoever the people that have been on a million times and you're seeing all those names and they're all people that are so famous and you're just like, you just feel like, I don't do, you're like, I'm sorry. Like, almost like feel like walking around apologizing to everybody. I'm sorry I'm here. I shouldn't be here. But it's, yeah, I mean, but they make you feel like, a star, I guess, it's like that kind of thing, which is very nice to make you feel, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you struggle to save money every month? With Rocket Money, you can quickly identify all of those sneaky subscriptions that keep charging you month after month and cancel any you no longer use. It's such an easy way to start saving money. I feel like with all the subscriptions, now we could be paying more than cutting the cord. That is true. Rocket Money is, there's so many things now. Yeah. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. With Rocket Money, you can easily cancel the ones you don't want with a press of a button. No long hold times or annoying emails with customer service. Rocket Money does all that for you. Rocket Money can even negotiate to lower your bills for you by up to 20%. Just take a picture of your bill and Rocket Money takes care of it. Rocket Money also lets you monitor all your expenses in one place, recommends custom budgets based on your past spending, and sends you notifications for your spending limits. With over 5 million users and counting, Rocket Money has helped save its customers an average of $720 a year and $1 billion in total savings so far. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/Nate. That's rocketmoney.com/Nate. rocketmoney.com/Nate.
There we go. I'll read this last comment. Erica Pearson. Nate mentioned after Bridgestone that one must always have a dream no one else knows about on the horizon. Was SNL it? Does he now have another dream on the horizon? SNL wasn't. It wasn't the dream or the. It's. It's in the. It would be in the basket of stuff I would need for the other one to happen. I mean, I'm just trying to create a world, and that's what I did. I did like seeing that. I mean, I've seen Lauren and this world that he has created is pretty special, and I really enjoyed seeing that and watching that, and the picking of a show and all this stuff. I mean, I think, I mean, that's the stuff that I want to eventually, hopefully, can get to a point of that where you can, maybe you don't have to be in everything or you don't have to do everything, but you can. You're just, it's just, I don't know, creating a world of whatever, but yeah, I mean, SNL was definitely, it's like a thing I think I've always wanted to do. I mean, it's just a different thing, man. I mean, the amount of people that reached out after this, it's just a different, I don't know if people they can't believe you have a special and all this stuff, but I guess you're doing stand-up for so long that people just kind of go like, all right, you're doing stand-up. You're a stand-up comedian. So then you're like, well, I got a special and I'm doing on the Tonight Show. And people are like, that's crazy. But you're doing the thing you're supposed to be doing. And then this was like the first thing that was like, what? Like it was like, and it just was like a different.
Yeah, it's hard for me to get my head around.
Yeah.
It's wild that you don't have a show. I mean, you know what I mean? Just seeing you be able to do that and do it so well, and you're reading off the monitors. It is wild that you don't have a sitcom.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad. I'm happy to have gotten this far with stand up.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then stand up comedy is in a great spot right now. People are a lot more people are coming out to shows. Live things are great. Live
is the best.
Live is the best. Live is happening now. People are coming out. A lot of comics are putting out great stuff right now. And they're seeing stand up. It's a Golden Globe now as an award. And so stand up is really kind of being, can be looked at, hopefully like eventually you can get it like music where it's people can just be stand-ups and learn to be great at stand-up comedy. Cause it's, it's very fun to go watch. I don't think anything you could ever watch will never have as many laughs as stand-up can get.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's interesting you say that because people have for so long used stand-up as a launching pad to get somewhere else.
Yes.
They're like, I want to do this. So I'm a stand-up comic and then I get to that. And it's like stand-up, and people always say that to me, is that your goal to do something else? And it's like, no, stand-up is what I want to do.
Yeah.
It's fun to do stand-up.
It's an instant, you tell a joke and you get a reaction from it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I still have some, I really liked shooting this stuff. Like, if you could do a multicam, like a Seinfeld show, like I still, I don't know if that stuff will ever happen. I don't know if I'll ever do it. It might not work out. I don't know. I like the Sandler and the movie. I want to make stuff for, I want to make stuff that everybody can go see. And so like, I do have that dream of doing that. So we'll see if that happens. But yeah, stand up. I do love stand up, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's funny you mentioned Seinfeld because it got buried because you had such bigger news of Saturday Night Live, but we haven't seen you since you had a face-to-face with Seinfeld. There you are at a diner with him. I assume that's a diner.
Yeah.
And what was that like?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I assume that's a diner.
I mean, it could be
that's a restaurant for sure.
Yeah.
It was crazy, man. I mean, it was. He's reached out. I talked to him today, actually, about SNL. Like, we've started texting and talking, and he likes talking comedy. I mean, he's a comedian, and he just likes talking comedy. And so when I was in New York, this was before I knew I got Saturday Night Live. It was when I did the Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
The day I did the Tonight Show is when I met with him, and we just met. Started to call me. He sent me a very nice message. I think I said that about the. Did I say that on?
Yeah, I think you told us about the.
He sent a very nice message about my special, and so we just kind of talked comedy and just that was just kind of it. It's like we just started kind of talking now. So it's it was very much that moment. I felt like Keith Hernandez in the Seinfeld episode where I don't know what to do. I'm just trying not to ruin this.
Yeah.
And so,
but in that case, you'd be more the Jerry character. Like if he asked you to help him move, you would have totally said yes.
Yes, I would have I was very much more the Jerry. Yeah, he could have asked anything out of me right there, and I would have been like, yeah, I'll do it. So yeah, it was very cool. We talked for a while, and we've been talking since then, and talk to him.
It does sound like the Keith Hernandez episode. Now we've been talking some more.
I don't try to go too much. I try to text and I think about what I'm texting him. I don't try to, I'm not trying to overdo it.
Yeah. At the end, did you lean in for the handshake or?
I said, I go and take a picture. He goes, well, we just hung out. And I go, well, I don't know what to tell you, but I have to have a picture. And he laughed and we took a picture.
Yeah.
He's very nice, man.
That's great.
He just likes comedy and likes to talk comedy. And, the people around us took pictures with him. And no one came up to me, but they took pictures with him. And it was, my neighbor learned to speak English because of the Seinfeld show.
Wow.
Like that's how they learned.
Wow.
And so it was, I told him that and he was like, oh, wow, that's great. And and there was, I think a lot of people would watch that show and just, it's a very funny show that was easy and to watch and just pleasant. Like you just need something that's grounding to how everything can't be. Yeah, it's not crazy. It's everything and it's like that's what Saturday Night Live is. It's like this kind of classic, like grounding kind of. You know what? I can watch this and it's easy to watch and it's fun and it's nice. And it's, Seinfeld was that. I told him today, I was like, yeah, multicams are. His show's a multicam. I was like, I tell you what, because on the Saturday Night Live, I shot a music video, a movie, a sketch, multicam type thing. You're doing everything. I was like Kramer. You're like, I'll go to the vet any day. Got a frog. He's got to work with a frog, a duck, a chicken.
Yeah.
He goes all on the same day.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I said that to Seinfeld. I was like, I go, multicams they're very fun. And he goes, I recommend them. I like them. I was like, yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah,
they do. He goes, I think they're great. Yeah, I'd imagine they are.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was very cool, and everybody was very nice, and everybody, thank you so much for. I know everybody watching it, and everybody came out and supported. None of that stuff, like I always say, it's. I know you guys are all super supportive, and everything is done with. I try to do everything with you and guys in mind. Not saying it's all going to be the funniest stuff in the world, but it'll be. It was a true amazing experience.
And those dates you had to cancel, you're going to make those up?
Yeah. I'm going back. Yeah, December is those two. Everybody was super nice with that.
Yeah,
I didn't. Everybody was so nice with that. I mean, I never tried to do that kind of stuff, and but they understood, and that's why I was glad this show was good because it was. I did want to be like everybody that. Those cities can be like, all right, you saw, like, I mean, I went and did something, try to give it my best, specifically for them, the ones that missed those shows.
And now because you've been on SNL, when you reschedule those shows, you can raise the ticket prices.
Yeah. They
because
go back up.
Hotter commodity.
I don't know until they're double. People are like, well, I thought we just get to transfer them. I go, you do. You get to transfer them and add to the price. No, that's not happening. That did not happen.
Well, I had to cancel my shows at Hyenas in Dallas and Fort Worth to get to come with you. And one of your guys was nice enough to reach out to them on my behalf. So the next day I'm waiting, to see what the guy says at the club. And I get an email from him. I'm like, well, here he goes. He's like, hey, ticket sales for all the shows are really low, like every show. And he starts asking me, like, can we cut this show, whatever? And he doesn't know yet that I'm not even coming. And
you're like, yeah, we can cut that show and a couple others.
Yeah, how about this? I'll do you one better.
Yeah, I'll do you one better. Yeah.
I won't even show up.
Yeah.
But I mean, soon after he found out about it, but I was telling Nate, like, I found out about a show I didn't even get to do. Still found out that ticket sales are really low.
Yeah.
Like you don't even get a good cancel.
I don't get a good cancel. I have no bargaining power now to reschedule because
no tickets to transfer.
He goes, we did a full dress rehearsal and this did not work out on Brian coming to the club. And we advertised it and everything.
So the 6 people who bought tickets, thank you. I'm sorry. There was one person that emailed me that said they drove there just to buy a ticket.
Bless her heart.
I know. I feel bad about that.
Always buy in advance.
But I mean, to their understandable, they know I ain't gonna sell out. So they're like, this is just the last minute if we decide to go see a movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait until you start selling out though, so that people that think you're not will regret it.
Well, I agree. I mean, please start buying tickets early so these clubs will, if something like this happens, they'll bring me back.
Brian is good at comedy.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. November 8th, I'm going to be at Zany's Comedy Club.
Just so the 2 different pleas of the whole thing's about Saturday Night Live, and it ends with the Brian goes, guys, please come out to shows.
And Dusty's like, he is good at comedy.
He is good at comedy.
He is good at comedy.
Guys, we need these clubs to ask me back. So if you could do what you can and come out to shows, support live comedy.
Nate's canceling arena shows so he can do SNL. And I'm just like, please, somebody come. But November 8th, your chance. Come to Zany's Comedy Club here in Nashville. November 10th and 11th, I'm at Comedy Off Broadway in Lexington, Kentucky.
Good club.
And November 18th, I'm at Studio Theater in Little Rock, Arkansas. So please come to all those shows.
This weekend, I'll be in Chicago on Thursday, November 2nd at the Vic Theater. Very exciting. I've never been there before. Not on the 2nd, right? You're on the 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be there on the 2nd. So if you're in Chicago, great time. Come see me Thursday. Come see Nate on Saturday. You can really, you can see
I'm there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay.
And your dad's there too, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But none on Thursday.
None on Thursday.
Yeah. So Thursday, come see me. November 2nd.
You can have a great plan.
Yeah.
We have that's so the 312 Comedy Festival. I will be in Peoria Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday I'm at the Chicago Theater, and then I think Mike Vecchione and Veter might have a show too at Zany's there. They've added some. Look at that schedule. My dad is doing a show at Zany's. So they've added some. Yeah, you could have looked at it.
That's 321 Improv
schedule.
Well, I put Comedy Festival.
Oh.
All right.
321 Comedy Festival.
Did my name make it on there? Oh there I am.
Name would
Third
be,
line. Yeah, look at that.
My dad's doing a show at Zany's. So Mike Vecchione and Gary Veter are also doing a show. They were on the show with me at the Chicago Theater. So they're going to go do that, and then Michael Che. Oh, Che's going to be there from
John Christ.
John Christ is there.
This is a hot lineup, but remember, I'm
this is
on
a fun
Thursday.
festival. And then so go see. You can knock off a lot. So Dusty is there Thursday at the Vic. The Vic's a great theater. And then the other shows, my dad and them they might be Saturday or something, Friday, Saturday, but they're at Zany's. My dad's doing a show. Mike and Veter doing a show. Chris, it's a fun thing.
And then Saturday, I'm in Oklahoma City at Bricktown Comedy Club. I have 2 shows. I also put, it's old jokes, but I put a 50-minute set on YouTube for free that I just want to tell people about. It's old jokes, but it's a good set. So full set. It's fun. Just go watch it if you watch it.
That's fun.
If you don't want to watch it, if you've seen all those jokes, share it with a friend.
Yeah.
Or don't do any of it. Whatever you want to do.
What do you do? It's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. And then
next week, Aaron's finally back.
Next week will be normal.
It's been like 2 months since we've all been together.
Yeah. Sorry about that. So it's been crazy.
Well, it's not all your fault. Dusty was MIA for a while. Then
I
Aaron.
got sick one time.
Yeah.
What are you
gonna do?
Yeah, I'm the only constant here.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Really anchoring it down.
Yeah.
That's why you're head of the table.
Yeah. That's right.
The guy with no shows.
I got nothing to do.
He goes wide open. He's not scheduled.
I'm not getting sick because
I'll do 2 a week.
Yeah.
What do y'all want to do? No. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you for the support. We love you as always. I think we have something.
We have one thing that is a surprise for Nate.
So this is at the okay.
More for Nate.
Tell me about it.
This is a surprise for Nate. It's from the Nateland podcast fan page, which is on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
It's so much stuff. We have a whole nother basket of stuff for you to go through. So I just kind of picked out some of the faves for you to just look at. They're pretty cool little things.
Look at that.
Sent you. They all donated, sponsored a hole at your DCA tournament.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
Someone
amazing.
made an ornament, a nice coffee
Oh,
ornament.
wow.
These are super fun, fake prank golf balls.
Prank, so this is the Nateland podcast fan page.
On Facebook.
Oh, is this Shawshank?
Oh,
That's a
Blu-ray Shawshank. Yeah. So that's so cool.
Some McDonald's cards, Applebee cards, animal fights. This is super cool. It's Opryland USA.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Look at that animal. Oh, you mentioned Animal Fight. Yeah.
Yeah, animal fight book. So just some really cool.
Any
Opryland,
emu in there with a gun?
Ton of candy.
Yeah.
Diet Pepsis. It's just so much stuff that we obviously can't go through all of it, but just something really cool that they're just congratulating you on.
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, well, that's so nice. Congrats to the greatest average SNL host of all time. We're
That's funny.
so proud and happy for you. You love all the fan base. Well, that's the nicest thing ever.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Who would win animal fights? I mean, we can go back into that.
Yeah.
Who would win? They made a whole book.
See if there's an emu with a gun in there.
Did they say who would win, or do you debate it?
Looks like I don't know.
Well,
we'll find out.
We'll go through it. I was trying to get if I could.
This is your kind of book.
Yeah. This is. I talk about reading on there, but this is the one.
A lot of pictures in there.
Yeah, a lot of pictures.
And the McDonald's gift card. Look, after the after party, Nate hadn't eaten,
I could have
and
used it.
we're going back to the hotel. 4:30 in the morning. We stop at McDonald's.
The reading joke
Applebee's.
on your monologue was unbelievable. Where you're like, it's just relentless. Because there'd be a blank page in there to where I, as a guy who hates to read, I love it.
No tomatoes, no onions. Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's very funny.
yeah. That joke will be. Yeah, all that stuff I'm gonna still be using, just so you know, because I want to put it on a special. And I'll just have other stuff. Oh, that's awesome. This is no tomatoes, no onions. Fan page admin team. Jesse, Chad, Jen, JC, and Brandy. JC, right? Jacy. That's I know that's how you say it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sorry, I know her. That is.
Oh, that's Batesville.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the group that put this all together, but the whole fan page did it. But they
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
organized it.
That's crazy. Yeah. Look at that. I mean, this thing's a penguins. To even think to do that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh wow. Olivia hoodie. Wear that. This is that's very, very nice. Sponsored a tournament, that's for my high school. Thank you. That's man, that's crazy. I did not know that. Look at this. Start the show with a surprise. My dad's living here, and then end it with this.
Yeah, that's great.
A lot of surprises. Opryland. I wonder if I'm in this, I could show you the book, the Opryland, to see where I was sweeping.
I tried to find you.
No pictures of me sweeping.
They'll regret that now.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They'll regret it. We should have had a picture of Nate in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
I
had a
bet that's
picture
an
of
old,
dad performing. Huh?
it's probably old copyright. They'll update that book and they'll put you in there.
Yeah. Go through it. Very sweet. Thank you guys. Thank you, all of you guys that listen. This is it's been a wild ride. And we love you as always. See you out there. All right. Thank you. Bye. Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland Podcast.